You know, we usually think of the afterlife as this place of perfect cosmic justice, right? Good is rewarded, bad is punished. But what if that whole system was just fundamentally broken? Well, today we're diving into a story that asks that exact terrifying question. And believe me, the answer could unravel everything.
Okay, so imagine this. Your job is to sort souls for the afterlife, but you start to realize the rulebook you've been given is flawed, totally unjust, maybe even cruel. That is the impossible position 4 teenagers find themselves in, and the choices they make could literally break eternity.
So here's the mission. They have to go out and gather spirits from the ghost world and bring them back to their resurrected bodies for the final judgment. Sounds straightforward enough. But right from the get-go, 2 teams form, and they have, let's just say, drastically different ideas about how to get the job done.
And this is where things get really interesting. You've got Evan and Abby on one side, trying to be completely honest. The problem? The spirits are terrified of judgment, so they're all hiding. Then you've got Diesel and Rev. And Diesel? He decides the ends absolutely justify the means.
This quote just nails Diesel's whole vibe, right? He sees this as a numbers game, a competition he's going to win. So he goes to the rebel spirits. These are the ones who don't have the official believer stamp and tells them a pretty little lie. He says the Savior is feeling extra merciful today and that they should totally come on back. It's not the whole truth, not even close, but it works.
When the spirits start getting suspicious, asking why they should trust him, Diesel pulls out his ace in the hole. He shows them this tiny 3-colored flame in his chest. It's a sign of real spiritual growth, and he tells them this is the real ticket into heaven, not some silly official mark. He sells them a beautiful lie, and they buy it completely.
And yeah, Diesel's deception totally works. He brings back a ton of rebel spirits, and he's feeling pretty triumphant. But that feeling does not last. Because when those hopeful spirits finally lay eyes on their decayed, ruined bodies, the brutal, cold reality of the system comes crashing down on everyone.
In an instant, all that hope curdles into horror and pure rage. They realize they've been led straight into a trap. They swarm the saviors, screaming that they were tricked, demanding the forgiveness and the official marks they thought they were promised. But the system, it has absolutely zero room for appeals.
What happens next is swift, it's automatic, and it is absolutely horrifying. This isn't justice. It's like watching a cold cosmic assembly line. Heavy crosses just appear on their backs, their bodies erupt in flames, and then the ground itself splits open, and they're dragged, screaming, into a chasm right there on the football field.
So Diesel watches this whole nightmare unfold, and for a split second he thinks, I won, right? He brought back the most souls. But then he looks down, expecting his heart flame to be blazing. And it's dimmer. It's actually smaller. The system got its souls, but Diesel, he lost a piece of his own.
Watching this cosmic train wreck flips a switch for the teens. They go from being agents of the system to basically being its prosecutors. They stand up and start pointing out all the glaring bugs in the code of eternal justice. And man, do they find some big ones. First, there's a kind of double jeopardy loophole. The condemned spirits just ditch their burning bodies and pop right back into the ghost world where, oops, they can't be judged again. Second, some of the officially marked believers are fakes. They're believers in name only. They've got the stamp, but no real spiritual flame inside. And third, the whole system completely ignores that heart flame, the one true sign of attainment.
But you want to hear the real kicker? The most shocking part of all? The one enforcing these terrible rules hates them too. The Savior himself admits he feels trapped, forced to use this rigid black and white system that has no room for nuance. The judge thinks the law is unjust.
And just when you think things cannot possibly get any more messed up, the entire mission just spirals into total chaos, and we find out there's one last horrifying flaw in this whole resurrection plan.
Okay, get this. The Savior drops another bombshell. Turns out, not all the bodies they resurrected even had a true divine soul to begin with. Some of them have what are called AI imitation souls. They're basically biological shells, and their consciousness just poof, dissolves when they die. They were never even really in the game.
Rev, as usual, just cuts right to the chase. The process that was supposed to bring about this grand final judgment has instead created thousands of soulless beings who now have no place in the cosmic order. It's a disaster. So, when these soulless beings actually start trying to organize an escape, the Savior just gives up. He admits total defeat.
He takes out a magic trumpet, blows into it backwards, and freezes time itself. It's the ultimate rage quit, a complete system crash that leaves all of reality on pause.
And then, in that frozen silence, a mysterious voice echoes across the field. It suggests that real power doesn't come from following these broken rules. It comes from being aligned with a higher, truer cosmic law, a law that maybe even the Savior himself has been ignoring.
And really, that's what this whole thing boils down to. When the rule book itself is the problem, who gets to be the one to tear it up and start over? The judge? The kids who expose the flaws? It's a question that makes you rethink the very foundation of justice itself.